Hi there. In today's video, we're diving to the very bottom of the Google Play Store to play some Plants vs. Zombies clones. We'll see if things have gotten any better in 2025 and whether mobile gaming is actually moving in the right direction. Let's not waste any time. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. For this video, I've gathered 5 beautifully cursed PvZ knockoffs, and we're going to play them in order of increasing awfulness. The first clone we'll try out is called Ocean Zombie Outbreak. Upon launching the game, we're greeted by this menu screen, and honestly, for a parody, and an Android one at that, it's not half bad. There are some interface elements besides just a full screen, start, button, and even some animations. Just listen to the mysterious background music. Gives you chills, right? The game does have microtransactions, and not cheap ones. I'm really curious if anyone actually pays for this stuff. But whatever, let's get to why we downloaded the game, to actually play it. And believe it or not, there's even a storyline. Basically, everything was peaceful until a zombie showed up in the city and bit someone, causing a zombie apocalypse. Everyone turned into zombies and headed for the ocean to eat a mermaid. But surprise! A bunch of aquatic creatures came to the mermaid's rescue and decided to fight back. Yep, that's the plot. As soon as the first level begins, the mermaid starts lecturing me on how to properly plant, or rather, fish, because yeah, instead of plants. We're fighting zombies with marine creatures. The mermaid, by the way, keeps glitching. Sometimes she speaks in Russian, then suddenly in English, and keeps switching back and forth. If the dev didn't feel like writing proper dialogue scripts, they might as well have skipped the translations altogether. Let's be real, no one's reading this stuff anyway, especially when she keeps nagging you even on the second level, showing how to plant fish like I didn't figure it out the first time. And guess what? She's still doing it on the third level, again, making me plant the same fish. It's just absurd at this point. Also, the third level is already kinda hard. I actually lost a lane. So what makes this game different from regular PvZ? Aside from fish replacing pea shooters and oysters replacing sunflowers, not much. Oh wait, there are gold chests at the end of levels and, of course, ads. All in all, it's just a generic PvZ style game. Can you play this? Sure, if you're a kid. But even then, why bother? PvZ is free on mobile, and so is the sequel. Why play a worse version of the same thing? Still, a bunch of people downloaded it and even left reviews. The second clone is called Merge Plants. Defense Zombie. Before I could even blink, the game forced me into a level, and straight into a tutorial on how to plant. Fun twist. You can merge your plants, kind of like in PvZ Fusion. The first level took literally 10 seconds and only had 2 zombies. If you're wondering why such a short level exists, I'd say it's to show you an ad ASAP. The devs probably aren't too confident you'll stick around for a longer level, so they try to monetize instantly. Or maybe there's another reason. After the ad, I was told to water a plant sprout, which gave me spikes. And that was it for the tutorial. Honestly, that's already better than the first game, just because it doesn't treat you like you've never held a phone before. They show you once, and then let you figure things out. In the second level, I noticed something interesting. You're limited in how many plants you can place per level. Also, the dev didn't bother designing new backgrounds, they just took one from PvZ 2. While playing, I discovered this little book. Turns out it's an almanac, where you can view all the plant hybrids you can craft. And there are a lot. Even this one. The second level was longer, and after watching a standoff ad, I started level 3, and just look at this mess. I'm amazed this walnut held the line. The game really should have let me place more plants here, it felt kind of unfair. After another level, I got a gun I could give to Dave, I mean, Bob. Don't confuse them, they're totally different characters. Can't you see? Zero resemblance. Anyway, Bob helps shoot zombies now, but you have to tap him to activate it. Fine, I guess. On the 5th level, I crafted some new, cool hybrids and started the level. Everything seemed fine. Until suddenly, Zomboss, or whatever that was, showed up. At the end of the level, he started launching energy balls that weren't all that threatening, but they just never stopped. I waited over 5 minutes, hoping it would end, but I couldn't take it anymore. I've got more clones to check out, and I'm not about to waste my sanity staring at that forever. So, let's move on to the third clone, Plants Guard Zombie. The moment I launched the game, it jumped straight into the action, didn't even show a menu. The game is basically a mix between Swamp Attack and PvZ. You use a gun and vegetables to take out zombies heading your way. The developer clearly didn't stress about models, they just ripped everything straight out of PvZ 2. After finishing the tutorial level, I was forced to open a loot box and buy a new plant. The core gameplay is all about aiming at zombies and shooting them. You can also use plant ultimates, and there are 2 buffs, one blows up all plants, and the other heals them. Naturally, you can only get them by watching ads. By accidentally clicking a button, I got hit with an ad for another very interesting PvZ clone. But we're not talking about that one, so let's just call it a funny little moment. Then, once again, I triggered another ad by accident, this time for Standoff. On the bright side, I got a new plant from the loot box for watching the ad, so there are some upsides. On level 5, a boss appeared, but it was super easy. I'm a budget gamer after all, so I handled it with no problem. Level 6 introduced a mini-boss, Gargantuar, and he was a bit tougher, but I still managed. I upgraded my gun, and in return, I got a stronger one. On level 7, another Gargantuar showed up, but by now he was a joke. Anyway, I got bored of this game, so let's wrap it up. Honestly, this one is more unique than the last 2. It's not a basic PvZ copy, it at least tries something a bit different. I can actually understand why someone might play this. Not bad at all. Though, yeah, it does show way too many Standoff ads. Next up is a clone called Plants vs. Animals, which I found by accident. I was trying to download another parody, but this one looked more interesting. The game menu looks like this, probably the coolest menu we've seen in this whole video. There are tons of levels, which hopefully means there's plenty of content, right? On the first level, we only get a cucumber, or whatever that is, and no energy-producing plants. So, you really have to manage your placement carefully because your resources are limited. Our only enemies in this level? Cows. Yep. Terrifying, I know. The second level is basically the same, just with more cows. Actually, there were so many that I didn't beat it the first time. Turns out, one cucumber isn't enough to handle a herd. I had to rethink my strategy. By level 4, we finally get a mushroom that generates stars. From that point on, every level plays out exactly the same way. Out of the 10 levels I played, I only unlocked 2 new plants, one of which is completely useless. I also only saw one type of enemy, the cow. I get it, maybe there are like 3 or 4 enemies total, but if that's the case, why make 500 levels? Just make 15 solid ones and build on that. But hey, the dev is clearly a genius and sees things differently. Eventually, even the level difficulty stops changing, if it ever changed at all. And I haven't even mentioned the core concept here, plants versus cows and boars. Yeah, on one hand, it makes more sense than plants versus zombies, but also, it's just dumb. Alright, let's not take this game too seriously. Time to move on to the next clone, Plants vs. Goblins 8. And no, the 8 in the title isn't just a fancy number, it's literally the 8th part. You might have seen this masterpiece before from other YouTubers or maybe even played the original. The first game got over 500k downloads, and the devs saw that as a huge success, so they pumped out a few more sequels. Those sequels did just as well, or even better, so the dev made even more. Now there are 8 whole parts. Though, the later ones haven't been doing too great in terms of downloads. But that's no surprise. The first game was just a reskinned PvZ with downgraded visuals and a different name, a classic bootleg. And all the later games. Just remodels of the first one. No real differences, just new textures. Same thing with Plants vs. Goblins 8. Seriously, would it have been that hard to add a couple new plants or zombies, I mean, goblins? Doesn't seem like too much to ask. They could have at least added new mechanics or ideas, but nope. Nothing. I get it, it's easier to slap a new texture pack on an old game and call it a sequel. But come on. There's lazy, and then there's this. So next time you think PopCap is milking PvZ too hard, just remember the Plants vs. Goblins dev. Things could always be worse. So, what's the conclusion? Are PvZ clones evolving? As you can see, not really. Maybe there are some decent parodies out there, but they're buried under a mountain of trash like what we saw today. I doubt that's a surprise to you, it wasn't for me either. This video was made just for fun, to laugh at how ridiculous some of these clones are. I never expected to find anything truly good or exciting here. Anyway, that's where I'll leave you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to check out my other stuff. Thanks for watching, good luck out there, and see you next time.